Hello, and so we are taking this section of the training, which is on customer loyalty management. So this is more like the last one for today. Customer loyalty management. Remember where we started out from? We considered service delivery, right? Service delivery excellence. We talked about customer retention, and finally, for today, we are taking customer loyalty management. And it's a brief one. It's a brief one. And we're just going to be talking about the customer's loyalty, customer loyalty management, and some programs, customer loyalty programs. So I think in less than a few minutes of the max an hour, we should be done with this particular one. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and talk about um, customer loyalty, like we already have, that's customer loyalty management, like we're considering customer loyalty management, and customer loyalty programs. Okay, the first part of this, under customer loyalty, we're going to be talking about considering customer loyalty, the loyal customer, and the benefits of the loyalty. So, first of all, what is customer loyalty? So we can understand what we are dealing with, right? Customer loyalty is the consistency of a customer making making a brand as taking a brand as making a brand choice over time. Now, let me say that again. If a customer consistently chooses a brand, chooses a product, chooses a service over the others, over available options, over available substitutes, then the customer is loyal to that brand. Now, if we have, let's say, 10 different diary products, and a customer consistently chooses um, X products or X diary, right? Over the A, B, C, D to Z. It means that the customer, each time the customer, let's say each time the customer wants to take coffee or wants to take tea, they use X diary products rather than considering A, considering B, considering C options that are available, but they decide to consistently use X diary products. So it means that that customer can be considered as a loyal customer. So that's what we're talking about, loyalty, customer loyalty. So that customer loyalty is the consistency of that customer to keep choosing that brand or that product over and over and over and over again. That's what customer loyalty is. Now, now if I want to flip it the other way around, I'm still going to say that customer loyalty is their willingness. So it has sunk into the subconscious the willingness of that customer to repeat purchase, to always choose that brand. So they are willing. They don't have to be pushed. They don't have to be talked into. They don't have to make it like a second option. Okay, if I don't get this, I'll just consider this one. No, that's not where. No, that's not what it is. Like they are willing to always choose this one. So it's not like okay, they come out to make. If you check, there are some products they don't do adverts. Like they don't run ads like others will continuously run. They don't. Because why? The customers are they it has become like it has just like it's just like that. We have it like that. We have it that same way. So um it has become like those customers are loyal to that brand. Now, customer loyalty also stems from emotional connection. So those ones it can come from emotional connection where customers themselves are they become connected, they become attached, they have a value for money, right? All these things can is what connection, creates a connection with the customer or creates a customer loyalty. When customers feel that when customers are emotionally connected, that is they're happy to use the brand or they have this they're just happy using this particular brand. That's what it makes them all it makes them feel um now I want to say let me give an instance that is something different from that is still on customer emotion that is customer loyalty. Now some of us there's this popular phone brand, right? Once we hear the sound, we just know, oh, these are the big boys' phones or these are the big boys' devices, right? So it creates that click, right? That they belong. right? When we hear those kind of ringtones, okay, yeah, this one's okay. They're not just the small phones, they are the big phones, right? So they're always releasing and releasing new ones every year. So I think we can use phones, they are devices that they're like that, right? So these are the kind of things that so it creates a connection for them, a click, so they know okay that they have arrived. So that's that. Then we'll go ahead to talk about value for money, a sense of value. Now, take for instance, there are some customers, the loyalty is based on the value that they get, right, from using that particular product. So their loyalty has been created from there, from that one. Then another one is that they are relevant to a brand. Take for instance, a brand that always reach out to you, they call you, they celebrate your birthday, they do this, they're like they value you. You feel that you are a part of that brand, right? That's it. These are some of the things that we have, right? That helps to connect with customers. So these are connections that customers can develop over a time, and they become loyal to that brand, and they will choose that brand over and over and over again. Okay, now a loyal customer who is now a loyal customer. Loyal customer is one who is happy with the brand, who is happy to stay with the brand, who trusts the brand, who would always decide to make a repeat purchase over and over and over and over and over again. Now, a loyal customer is secondly, a loyal customer is someone is a customer that's undetachable, is not easily detached. Even though there are some customers like even if they can't find that product, take for instance a diary product. Now, if they don't get that diary product, they say no, that's the one they want. They rather drive the whole of the city looking for that particular product than choose an alternative. There are people like that, right? That's it for them. It's not like they react to when they use substitutes. No, but it has become a second nature to them to just use it. So if it's S mall does not have it, they will go to Y mall, or they will go to Z mall, or they will go to C A B C mall, whichever one. They'll just keep driving the entire until they get that particular product that they're looking for. That's so these are stages to loyalty. They aren't detached, right? It's not like anybody is possible. They just love it. They tell you that maybe it might be the uniqueness of the taste or whatever it is. They just have why they love it, why they prefer that particular brand over any other thing that can be offered in the market. Then, secondly, they see themselves as part of the brand family, right? I've talked about where some brands celebrate their customers and the rest of that. We've seen in year ends, that's towards the end of the year, where some brands practically appreciate their customers, and sometimes they do it through raffle draw, promos, different kind of programs, outdoor shows, and the rest of that. Some of them they do like they do different games like to help customers belong and the rest of that. Okay, so we see these things play out. So we know as customer loyalty officers. So now why we're considering all this is because it might be in customer that all depends on the rules that we've been assigned with, but whichever one it is, that means we are competent enough to handle them. Okay, then we'll talk about the brand families. Okay, so now a loyal customer also is someone that is one that is patient. They're always patient with the flaws. So when there's service disruption, they're the ones that will be telling other people, no, that's not the way they are. Oh. They will improve. Just give them some time. Just give them some time. They are the one that is advocating for the brand. When people are coming online to come and drag the brand, say, hey, this has happened, that one has happened. They are a terrible brand, and the rest of that. They come and say, I mean, it's not like that. So they just start defending the brand, right? These are loyal customers. Not necessarily that because that they are working there or they have relatives who are working there or they have any gain, but they've come to love the brand, right? Of course, that's what it is. Now, we'll go ahead to talk about the next. That is last on this. Of course, they are always ready to return. Now, some loyal customers, even if they go, even if they use the alternatives in the market, they come back. They always come back. They always come back. These are loyal customers, regardless of how maybe they were ill treated and the rest of that. Once a representative reaches out and apologizes, they come back. They always come back. So that's one thing with loyal customers. They are not angry forever, right? Okay, so now we'll go ahead and talk about benefits of loyal customers because this is the reason why we are considering customer loyalty in the first instance because these loyalties help Like for all that we've said, it's very clear for us to be able to deduce what customer loyalty is about and how it benefits the organization. Now, that's another the key thing that we're going to be delving into because we've talked about them so much. So now, for customer loyalty, well, how does it benefit the organization? Of course, they buy more. They, when a customer is loyal, when we cross sell as maybe the service representatives or a retention officer, when we cross sell or upsell to those customers, they buy, right? They buy, they choose to buy. A loyal customer, take for instance, for let me give you example of how some of these things play out. Um, like using the data network. Take for instance, you've been subscribing, let's say you've been doing 5 gig or 10 gig, you've been doing 10 gig monthly and consistently been doing it. So they can just easily ask you to give you an offer. Let's say um you must have seen some offers that will ask you instead of going for that your 10 gig, maybe you were getting that 10 gig for let's say 5K or for 4K. And they're asking, let's say now 5K, let's give an example. You're getting that 10 gig for 5K. And they're saying, why buy 10 gig for 5K? Why not upgrade small and get 15 gig for 6,500, right? So now, just with additional 1,500 naira, you're getting more benefits, right? So that's upselling and cross-selling to a loyal customer already. So sometimes we have um, seen that play out, or that has been played also with us, and we see that happen before through the network or service providers that we've been using. That's more like a generic one that we see on a day-to-day basis. Then trying out new offers. Like I said something earlier, when we walked into a mall trying to make purchase decisions and we're having difficulties. So a representative reaches out and saying, maybe you could try this product. If you're not seeing this one, you could try that one. Try this, try that, and at the end of the day, we go ahead and you and try those products because why? That's loyalty. An unloyal customer will not even bother to try out any new product. Just say no, they just walk away, right? Then, and what I mean trying out new offers, I mean on that brand. Take for instance, if you're using X Diary products and X Diary is bringing out a cereal, right? So those loyal customers it's easy for um ex loyal customers, X Diary loyal customers who are currently buying their diary product to try out cereal of that same X. That's what we're saying here. I'm not saying that they're trying out something completely different from the X diary product that they are loyal to in the first instance. No, that's not what I'm saying here. So it's clear now. Then, of course, they will refer people and they will always make recommendations from time to time. They will refer people, tell their friends that influence their circle of influence, talk to their contacts. Somebody makes I say, oh, please, you know where I can get very good diary, a very good diary people. But then I okay, can just why not try this diary product? It's great. It does this, that. That's what I'm even using and the rest of that. Sometimes you see ladies do that about skincare products, where they this person say, "Oh, you glowing? What kind of skincare product are you using?" And they go ahead and tell their friends, "Okay, you can try this skincare products. This is what I've been using." Or they use this hair product and it's so great. And they look at their the hair strands, everything is just so great. What product are you using for your hair strands? And they make those these are referrals, right? These are recommendations that are just going on because of what great experience. Okay, and because those great experience is what has turned them into becoming loyal customers. Okay, that said, now loyalty management. This brings us to the second one that I want to talk about: loyalty management. Loyalty management. We're going to be talking about what's loyalty management in the first instance, the steps to end those loyalty. We need to end the loyalty first now before we begin to talk about managing it. We'll earn it, build it, and now build and manage it. Okay, so now loyalty and customer loyalty management. That is managing that loyalty. That's just what it is. How we go this loyalty that we're looking for from customers now as loyalty officers, customer loyalty officers. Now, how do we even manage this loyalty in the first instance, right? So now it's a design by the organization. So as loyalty officers, there's a design by the organization to manage customers' loyalty, to manage their loyalty, and that loyalty is going to stem from customer satisfaction. And you cannot manage the loyalty of an unsatisfied customer. It's someone is a customer that is satisfied already that it can be loyal. If they are not satisfied, underserved, then it means they cannot be loyal. It does not work that way. They first of all need to be served, properly served, and satisfied before they can have loyalty, before they can give their loyalty to the brand. Then that loyalty can now be managed. Okay, so now let's say loyalty in itself is just a tool, or is just the tactics that companies use to engage and retain its customers. When we talk about retention, so now what strategies can we put in place to ensure that we engage these people and also retain them? So that's where you as a loyalty person comes in, right? So to implement all the strategies that the organization is going to put in place. Sometimes when we have this challenge that we put online, some people they do a challenge. I don't know if we've seen some influencers, some companies use influencers to do that, while some use their loyalty staffs, right? Those influencers actually are their loyalty staffs. So some companies use influencers as loyalty staffs, while some use ordinary, like just staffs, casual staffs like you and I, to handle like these personnel to handle the loyalty challenge. It might just be on the platform. I don't know if we've seen where possibly maybe it might just be one staple food, possibly maybe like a pasta, and they're doing a pasta challenge, or they're doing a dairy challenge, and they're asking you to like let's say it might just throw up a challenge, right? Not this kind of the different type of challenge, but say they throw up a challenge using that particular product. You do your own, share the best of the so the best of the picture wins at the end of the day. So they make their selections so they win. So these are the ways of managing the youth. We see that play out, of course. These are the things that so it all depends on the strategy of the brand that you'll be working with. So whichever strategy that they choose, so as a loyalty officer, you're the one that's going to be implementing that's going to be implementing this or rolling out that strategy on behalf of the organization. Okay, steps to earn the loyalty. Of course, enhance communication and interaction. Enhance communication and interaction very much important to earn loyalty in the first instance. Now, apart from the great customer service, before you even to make a great customer service, there have to be a great communication, right? Communication between customers and also interaction. So now, sometimes these communications, some organizations decide to use social media for to communicate with their, of course, when they have a large following on social media, they prefer to use that one. Where they have their largest following, you just use there. So if it's going to be via or if they send a lot of emails, most people don't before they read their email, the challenge might have been over. But if they throw it on social media, it start trending, everybody's talking about the challenge left, right, and center. At the end of the day, it's buzzing here, right? So at the end of the day, there's an interaction, the people are engaging, and at the end of the day, it's executed. So these are some of the steps to earning and maintaining that loyalty. Now we'll talk about improving. Okay, let me still talking about enhanced communication. Now, enhanced communication here practically will mean every so a loyalty staff, you're going to be looking out for the ways where communication is flawed. So you're going to as a retention officer, as a loyalty officer. So every single place that the brand communicates with its customers, that if communication is flawed, then a recommendation is made so that the organization can decide and make improvements there. Then secondly, we talk about improve expertise and exceeding expectation. So you as the loyalty person, that's why we're taking this session, so that you become better at what you do and be able to exceed expectations. Right? We've talked about expectations, customers' expectations from the previous trainings that we have done. Then, thirdly, anticipate and solve problems. These are ways that build that help us to earn that loyalty in the first instance, right? Then at the end of the day, incentives that are offered. Now, oftentimes when this incentive and the surprise benefits come in, sometimes these are, remember in the previous one we talked about in the retention class, where we talked about some experiences about customers who have issues, who have had issues, negative experiences with the brand. So sometimes some surprise benefits are thrown at them, or some no, I don't mean thrown like as a disrespect, but I mean surprised. They're just surprised, right? They will surprise them. They don't even expect it. and the auction just surprises them, and they say, "Oh wow, I never expected something like this." And at the end of the day, so we see those these kind of things play out. Sometimes it might just be in their office, just go and surprise them, maybe on their birthday, just go and surprise them. These are sometimes big customers that these things can be done or can be played on. So at the end of the day, it wins back that customers. But that's what we're saying. Here we're talking about loyalty. That's earning that customer's loyalty in the first instance. And we said um among the four key things that we've highlighted here is enhanced communication and interaction, improved expertise, and exceeding expectations. Then, thirdly, anticipating challenges before they even come, anticipating a customer's need ahead, and providing solutions to them. These things earn customers' loyalty. Then, I also talked about the incentive part of it. Then, now, after that, we have earned this loyalty, right? Earned this loyalty. To build on this loyalty, to continuously build on this loyalty, what can we do as loyalty officers? What can we do to continuously build on um on the loyalty that we have earned? So or continue to find out ways to understand and understudy the customers, right? Vice versa. For them to get to understand us, and that's for the customers to understand the brand, and the brand also to understand the customer. So like a vice versa, like relationship where two people are trying to build a relationship. So each person keeps learning and learning the other, and they keep improving at how they relate with each other. So that's exactly what happens between the customer and the brand. Okay. Then secondly, encourage feedbacks. So the customers can give feedbacks. So where they feel dissatisfied, underserved, they provide feedbacks, right? So that we can improve on whatever it is that they have identified. Outstanding and reliable customer service, very important. So building loyalty. So each time the customers experience our service delivery systems, it has to be outstanding all the time, right? We talked about it for us, the service reps. So each time it has to exceed, so to excel in those in the service delivery. Then finally, we talk about reward. Of course, we've considered this previously. So we talk about rewarding customers through loyalty programs. It's important that um, customers themselves get rewarded through loyalty programs. Of course, loyalty programs themselves, this brings us to the loyalty programs and in itself how they can be managed. So now let's go ahead and talk about customer loyalty. We're not discussing the loyalty programs now. They come. We're going to discuss details about loyalty programs in itself. So, okay, hold on. Now, benefits of loyalty management. Let's go ahead and talk about benefits of loyalty management. It cannot be overemphasized. When the customers loyalty are properly managed, what we have is that we have improved retention. There is less work for the retention people. Retention people will have less headache, right? When the loyalty people are doing their work very well, so retention people will have less headache to engage with. Then of course, um, generating more revenue. Of course, the auction is going to generate more revenue. There's going to be an increased customer referrals, and at the end of the day, overall achieving overall business objective is one major thing that we can be very much that can be very much assured of when that's when the loyalty programs are properly that's when the loyalty programs themselves for customer loyalty management in itself works effectively well and efficiently. So that said, I want us to quickly delve to the last portion of this training, which talks about the loyalty programs in itself. Remember that when we started out, we talked about we talked about customer loyalty in itself. Then, when we discussed the details about it, we went to talk about managing customer loyalty. That's customer loyalty management. What is it all about, right? So now I want us to talk about that loyalty program that we're now going to use to manage that we're going to use to manage that loyalty in the first instance. What programs that can be created to manage customer loyalty? I'll just give a list of them Of course, those ones are for supervisory, that's are for the supervisors. That's supervisors training where the programs are given out in detail. So we'll discuss more details in those. Those are for supervisory trainings, and it's not for us to consider here. But now let's go ahead and talk about customer loyalty programs. Now, in this session, we're going to be talking about the programs, the loyalty tools, and recognizing loyalty programs, of course. So now, what exactly is is customer loyalty program? One might be hearing about customer loyalty programs here and there. What does it mean? So these are um, programs or events that are put together. I've already given some instances. I've given some examples earlier while I was discussing on the loyalty management, where some challenges are done. Some challenge is being thrown out. Maybe some brand challenge. It might just be a recipe challenge. It might be a pasta challenge, like if it's a pasta company, a manufacturing that's an FMCG company, just give maybe if it's a dairy challenge or different kind of challenge that they might just want to put out. So, like they try for um customers themselves to implement that. So now, but now this program that is being put in place to reward customers, right, for being with the brand. That is these programs are what we call loyalty programs, customer loyalty program. So any program that the organization puts in place to recognize, right, to recognize customers and to reward customers. So we were recognizing them that they've been with. I don't know if you may have seen some big organizations do their biggest customer for the year. Sometimes when we see this play out is the bank. So the banks will do raffle draw, and they'll say people should certain deposits should be done consistently for the next 30 days, and the person with the higher deposit in the next 30 days will be the biggest winner, right? So oftentimes these are done when people are actually spending, right? People are making withdrawals to spend. So and those who are able to save instead of the spending that instead of spending at that time. So the the bank rewards them. So that's more like their own loyalty program, right? To reward or to recognize people who saved or who were the highest savers during that particular period, right? Oftentimes this comes in during the festive season, where these organizations reward the highest, let's say, the highest depositors during that period. Then there's some programs also that can be implemented to either reward maybe that is now I'm talking about a different one where some programs are put in place to reward loyal customers, like I already made mention about maybe a challenge that is put out and the winner gets rewarded, right? Then there is also a different one where organizations can find out okay who are their biggest, who are maybe the biggest patrons, people who have patronized them within the last 1 year, their biggest, it might be even their biggest distributors or their biggest retailers or their biggest people who have patronized them the most, the biggest buyers. Now, and they give them a sponsored trip, maybe to Dubai or to a luxury place where they can just go and chill, possibly for like maybe 3 days, 7 days, and they'll be back. So that's that. Okay, so this program, whatever program that is put in place to recognize and to reward customers for repeatedly doing business with the organization, patronizing them or purchasing their products or services, right, is what is called loyalty program. So, of course, it always provide a hanging benefit, like we always talked about. It always provide a hanging benefits and things that can be done for those customers to access it. Like we talked about those ones that say save XYZ, save for the next 30 days, save this amount of money, or the highest saver in the next 30 days gets to win, right? So that's something like a hanging benefit. If you do this in the next 30 days, you get this, right? So that's more like what it is. Okay, why for some attractly is you're not doing anything, it's based on what you have done for the past 1 year that they're rewarding you for, right? So these are the different ways why how loyalty programs play out. Okay, so now the oftentimes there are tools that used to drive loyalty. Oftentimes they stem from freebies, right? Could be freebies that are given out to customers, then add-ons, right? Now, when we're talking about freebies, let's say they just give us free, they just go out to do free, they just give some free gifts to their customers. Now, if it is add-on comes in like, let's say, buy this, get this. That sometimes when we've got we noticed that, okay, where we purchased a device, we purchased maybe a mobile phone, and you're giving let's say a vegetable oil, right? You're wondering what is the connection between this and this, and that's like an add-on. It's, these are gifts that loyalty gifts that are given. So some most brands go into partnership one with another when they say, okay, this they go into partnership to handle those loyalty programs together. Okay, then that's the different one. We're not considering that because it's not within our purview here to cover that here. Okay, then talk about there's some also some add-on where they say, okay, you buy this a bigger device and you're giving a phone. Take for instance, there's some those expensive luxury cars. I think if you buy, they give you either they gift you a Rolex watch, wristwatch, or they gift you something that is also within that luxury, within that luxury category. So these are some ways that some brands go into partnership to drive loyalty, of course. So, like I said earlier, I won't be going into more details about that. It's not what we're considering here. Then gifts, like let's say birthday gifts, end of year gifts are given to customers. Sometimes from like highest, maybe the certain customers who exceed certain level of patronage, they get certain gifts, right? Promos, I've discussed about this. Points, right? When you buy, you get some points. You buy something again, you get some points. When you get to a certain point, maybe you get up to 1,000 points, you can get that. You get a voucher to do so. You can see this play out in different forms. Then coupons. We have experienced coupons. Maybe when we get coupons, you want to purchase something online, asking you if you have a coupon, you can put it to either slash what you're. That's more like to get some discounts and the rest of that. Then, of course, value support. This value support practically means maybe some where organizations support the values of their customers, maybe customers who have let's say who have some values for let's say climate and the rest of that. So they go ahead to engage in such exercises together. Let's take for instance, a dairy company says, okay, since we're a dairy company, so it's an agro-like company. So okay, let's do something on tree plants. So those customers who love that's so they reward them with such exercises, take them there so they go and plant or they go on tree planting exercise and they enjoy themselves from there. They go on picnics and the rest of that, but they go on that exercise as well. So then there are other forms of value support as well, but we're not discussing much of those details because it's out of what we are out of our own control. We just need to have a good like just need to know these things. So when we see them, we are not like we've not heard of this before. So but it's important that we know that they exist. So now the different types of loyalty programs so that we can recognize them. The different types of loyalty programs, and those loyalty programs amongst them include membership programs, right? Membership programs, loyalty to reward people who are members. So then points programs, like I just say gave some hints earlier. Then tier one, tier two, tier three programs, partnered programs, like I just talked about, when some organization partner with a different, let's say maybe like a Rolex company partners with a Ferrari or partners with, so that when people buy Ferrari, they get a Rolex wristwatch for free. And so it's more like a partnership. So they do that to promote because they are luxury brands. Okay, then that's it. Open programs. So they are open programs, their value support programs. I just talked about that. Spend programs. So based on the more you spend, you get more guys you get to save more. There are some, let me talk more on that spend and recover more, how that one plays out sometimes. No, now there are some apps that we use, let's say for instance, that's more common that we use to purchase airtime. So when we purchase those airtime, so instead of um we getting maybe um deductions and the rest of that charges, they don't even, so from those we don't get deductions, rather we even get a reimbursement, right, for buying airtime from that particular platform. So that's more like the more you even spend. So maybe let's say you buy 10,000 naira airtime and even get, so you get up to like 500 naira cash back, right, for buying that airtime. So that's more like the more as you're spending. So maybe I spent maybe 1,000 naira, I bought 1,000 naira airtime, I got 50 naira, and I spent 100 I now spent 10,000 naira to get airtime. So I now get cashback of 500 naira. So return back to my wallet. So that's the way this spend and get back. That's the cashback program also works. So in case you see that, yeah, that's like a spend program. Then the game program where we play games and resident hybrid program. So all these are programs, but we're not going into details about all this because they are not for us to create. So the loyalty managers are actually the ones who create this. Um, that's the supervisors, loyalty supervisors and managers are the ones who create this one. So it's not for us. The training is totally for those ones. So then we are just implementers. That's loyalty officers. We're just implementing what, but so that when we come in contact with this, okay, we know that this is exactly what it is. That's why we just talked about them briefly. Okay, then finally, on this, when loyalty fails and why will loyalty management fail in the first instance? Okay, so as loyalty officers, it's important to know why loyalty management fails. Now, loyalty will fail when it is inconsistent because once it is consistent, customers will have something to look up to. They're always looking up to it because okay, they did raffle draw last year, I did not win. So this year maybe I'm going to win. Right? Or maybe I came fourth in the raffle draw, or I came among the first 100 in the raffle draw. But this year I am aiming to come among the first 10. Let's say first 10 went home with let's say they went home with refrigerators and but the first 100 actually maybe just got maybe like some cash gifts, small cash gifts, and maybe like let's say they went home with some little bouquets. So by this time I want to be among the first 10. Of course, even if I'm not the winner, maybe the winner goes home with a ride. And if I don't get win a ride, at least I let me be among the first 10. Maybe go home with maybe a deep freezer, or maybe something that's a little bit bigger. So at this time, if they need to be consistent, so that consistency helps customers look up to it. So inconsistency will make a loyalty program to fail in the first instance. So as loyalty management officers, we know that when the program of the audition is inconsistent, then there's a problem. Then poor values offered will always cause a problem when the reward is not just so great, so they just walk away. So now take for instance somebody that is buying a Ferrari and you're gifting them a wristwatch that is not worth so much. What are they going to do with the person? So they may not say thank you, but they just dash it so someone else. But take for instance that they get that they buy a Ferrari and you gift them that Rolex wristwatch that's super expensive as well. So they want to wear it, right? And also we use their Ferrari. So at the end of the day, they want like, okay, where did we get it? I got this when I got this. So that it makes it so everyone it makes that's more like a way of promoting that particular product or service. So their clique of friends also look forward to getting that um, Rolex when they also get their own Ferrari. Okay, then let's go on to talk about the next one, redeeming points values. And so if they have issues redeeming those point values, then there's going to be then it's a problem. Then the loyalty program when it's biased. Once the loyalty program become biased, there's the standard for choosing it becomes shady. Then there's a problem. So these things make loyalty programs fair. People begin to lose their trust in it. Now that's why oftentimes when they are doing this, for instance, the raffle draw is always in public. An unknown person is brought in to even do the selection. So the person just dips their hand and whatever they bring out, it becomes the person that wins. So it's just that's just the way. Sometimes even from the among the people, they just bring somebody among the crowd, come and pick. So it's known that nobody is just whoever it is that wins is fair to all. So these things makes um, the loyalty program, of course, when they are properly done, they succeed. And I think that brings us to we've discussed so much um, in this training, and it brings us to an end with what we've discussed. That's for the training thus far. Like I said earlier, that this one we're not spending so much time in in this training. Just a little of the things that more like what we've been talking since earlier. When we considered service delivery excellence, we considered customer retention. Now we're discussing the loyalty of the customer. So I think we've done justice to all the sessions that we had today, even though it was all packed because since we could have just we were not unable to hold them the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that we talked about. So, but now we have them. Now, while I want you to now drop your questions in places where you want questions. You have some questions because we're rounding up. Please just drop your questions so I can just take them right away and we can end this session. Right. So, at least in the next 5 minutes, I want us to bring this session to a close. Okay. Um, can we get the questions coming in the next 30 seconds? If not, I'm going to be closing the session because we've spent a lot of time already today. Um, questions, please let them come in. Remember that we've discussed detailedly about the service delivery excellence, customer retention, and now we're concluding on customer loyalty program. Okay, someone is asking the standard for choosing or selecting. Okay. So I think Frank Killian is saying what's the difference between value support and value based program. Okay, now um the value support, like I said earlier, take for instance um uh, uh, um, let me use someone that's something that's very much common. If I like I'm among the people who advocate for climate change, right? Let's say what's as a dairy company, we're also promoting climate change, right? So environmental preservation. Sorry, not we're advocating for environmental preservation. So now what do we do? So now and we have people amongst our team who are like amongst our customer who also are engaged in such activities. So that's where um some partnerships can come in, where the option as CSR, right? You can engage in that to handle that that shared value, right, of that particular customer. Then amongst the people now in a different form, amongst people who also share in that value or who share that same value with us, we can go on a tree planting exercise, right, and implement that. So it's more like a way of also rewarding ourselves. So in it, we are going to also, it's more like a picnic for us. We go out and do that together. So we are rewarding ourselves by doing what we love to do. That is one. Then sometimes it could come up as a challenge. Like we're doing, okay, let's say that we love um, dance or we love, it might be a competition. It might be whatever it is. So we can just bring it up as a competition. Let's say maybe it's a mathematics competition, like we have some dairy products that do that as well. They come up with a competition, right? So in order based on because we value education, right? That's one of the reasons why we are bringing this dairy product so that these people can have sharper minds, right? So now in it, a competition is set up, and the we winners can emerge, and they are rewarded. That's that. Then because I've already talked about some level of maybe people who are into some advocacies and the rest of us who can decide to sponsor some people who maybe they champion advocacies in that area. So we can decide to have a partnership or a collaboration, right? Not necessarily, it might not just necessarily be a partnership, but a collaboration. So we can decide to have that collaboration and um, execute that those things that they love. Of course, we have people within our community that also love that. They are our customers as well. So we implement them together and everyone becomes happy. So now there's the value support here and the value based are practically the same thing, right? But they're practically the same thing. The support here comes in when you're giving out support to someone. They're just still the same. Value support and value based program. Yeah, they're just one thing, but I'm just trying to help you understand that they're one thing, but what they practically do is what I've been discussing about all along. So, Frank, I think I answered your question, please. Okay, so somebody is talking about customer retention. This is customer loyalty here, please. So we finished on customer retention. So maybe if you need more, if you need to understand that, you can just refer to the training. You can just go and retake them. We're not discussing customer retention here. We just finished the customer retention class, and here we are discussing about customer loyalty here. please. Okay. Somebody is asking about KPI. KPI is practically key performance indicators, right? With which what you are doing is going to be measured. Take for instance, if you are given a task. Now, remember when we're talking about the customer recovery, right? We're saying you have some accounts that has been given to you. Recover these people. And when you are asked to recover this dormant account, this your performance is going to be measured. Let's say you are given let's say 10 accounts to be recovered in a month, and you go to recover them. If you don't recover them, the performance now, let's say like on a scale of 1 to 10, if you recover 1 out of 10, it means it's 1 over 10, right? On that one alone, because there are a lot of indicators that will it's not just one. It's not like as you're giving 10 accounts. That's not the only thing you're doing. On your customer service, the rating, right? Feedbacks that we get from customers at the end of the day, how your services were, right? Those ones form part of your key performance indicators, not just one thing. It's not one thing that forms your KPI. From the job description, right? When the offers are given to you, you see details of what you're expected to do. For every single thing you're expected to do, there's a there's a proper way of measuring the results, right? It is for the HR to worry on that. Of course, orientations will be given on that. So you know this is what is expected of you, and those things that are expected of you is what you're supposed to deliver, right? Some of them are very very much measurable. Like I just said earlier, for the recovery, let's say you are to recover, like the retention officers, you have to recover 10 accounts or 10 dormant accounts every month. So if you recover 2 out of that 10, it's 20 already. You have 2%. That is it's 20 over 10, like right, 20% out. So that which is practically below average and unacceptable. That's what I'm trying to say in essence. But that's not just the one thing that you are assigned to do. You have a whole lot of work to do, and all these form the key performance indicators. It's not just one thing. Nobody's just employed to just do one. They give you a list of things to get done that forms your daily to-do list. It is in that your daily to-do list that your KPI will be drawn. I hope I answered your question very well, Emily. Okay, that said, I think we'll have to bring this session to a close. We've done justice thus far. Okay, Frank is saying KPI the same thing as appraisal. They are not the same thing, but KPI and appraisal are not the same thing. But both of them are actually doing. They are doing their job is still appraisal takes a whole lot of about all your effort, every single thing about you. So these appraisals are broader, right? So, but all of them is both the KPI and the appraisals all do an assessment on you, on the work that you've done, work that you are doing, right? That's what KPI and appraisal aims to achieve. Both of them are two different things. They are two different things, right? But appraisals are broader, right? Appraisals are broader than the KPI. KPI is just on your job. The appraisals are broader. Your fellow colleagues will appraise you. Your supervisors will appraise you. Customers are going to appraise you. So appraisals are much more broader than KPI. KPI is just that thing that has been given to you to do. Are you doing it, right? That's based on what you have delivered versus what was given to you. You are asked to bake 10 loaves of bread. That's your KPI. So you're going to be based on that bread, like all the things that you're asked to do on that KPI. That's exactly what's expected of you. But your appraisals is more broader. So that's exactly what I already said. Okay, so um someone is asking, are we having an assessment? Of course, these questions are what was that was shared in the group. Yes, there's an assessment. An assessment to be delivered. Possibly, if it's not sent today, all of them will be sent in tomorrow, right? All the assessment links will be dropped. In fact, just that. Let's put it this way: all the assessment links will be dropped tomorrow before close of business for all the trip because the trainings will be completed tomorrow. We're going to be doing the remaining part of the trainings tomorrow. So all the assessment links will be dropped before close of business, and you're expected to do your assessment, and that will be all. I think that will be all for now. Okay, so we'll bring this class to a close. Thank you so much for participating. Enjoy the rest of it.